Hello, and here. So I wanted to put out another video. Something that a lot of people talk about would be climate change, and so I want to put out a message in the bottle to anyone that wants to listen and anyone that wants to do a little research on their own. Um, so I've done a lot of research over years, and I think when Al Gore put it out, in the '90s, I think I even bought his book. I mean, I was young. Um, Certainly believed in causes. But it's amazing that as you dig a little deeper, do a little more research, and you will find that major nations like the United States and Russia actually signed a treaty. The UN, it was in Geneva, and it was in the 70s. And so what ended up happening was during the Cold War, after World War II, um, many countries worked on utilizing the weather. If they can manipulate the weather, they could cause major disasters and disruptions in a country, and of course, use that as a weapon. Now, they signed a treaty saying that they wouldn't use those weapons. I mean, just think about that. That would be like saying, why would they need a treaty unless they had the weapon? It's kind of like a nuclear treaty, right? Hey, we have nukes, they got nukes. Let's sign a treaty so nobody bombs the hell out of everybody else. Same thing with this climate weaponry. And what they were doing, what they were testing with, was utilizing low frequency waves blasting up in the air, up in the ionosphere. And they say, now they do research and they'll say, oh, that didn't affect anything. Um, it really didn't work. But again, then why'd they sign a treaty? Why are so many countries signed on that treaty? And there's so many countries that never signed on, even though they agreed. They went back and their country said, no, not going to be a part of this. So, climate change, yeah, it happens. I mean, it's happening. I mean, I think a lot of it's natural. But at the same time, in the 1970s, um, boy, when I was growing up, they talked about the next ice age coming up. And all of a sudden, things switched over decades, where instead of an ice age, we were now warming up. And now we have these natural disasters that are occurring around the world. Um, Gotta wonder, the United States getting hammered, just hammered across. Europe getting hammered across what the heat waves, right? So imagine if you could create a bubble in the atmosphere, which would affect the jet stream, right? This is all scientific, and therefore you would actually create a different flow within the atmosphere. You do that, and you could use the climate as a weapon. 100%. I mean, that's just, do they have the power to do it? Do these countries, and it's not the United States. This isn't some kind of deep, dark, secret stuff. Do your own research. They actually were doing it. You don't mess with Mother Earth. I mean, I think that would be like drilling a hole so deep in the core, to the mantle to create a volcano and say, oh, I didn't expect it to erupt. The fact that they were doing these tests and continue to do these tests and continue to do stuff, I find it very interesting. Um, in Russia, you're not seeing major catastrophes or events, environmental or climate. Um, China, yeah, monsoon here and there, right? But nothing crazy. Nothing crazy South America. But yet the United States, Europe, and Central America is where it seems to really be affecting. They used to talk about El Nino and El Nina. Now they don't even talk about it. The warming of the oceans, the melting of the glaciers. Um, you can get a volcano eruption that goes off, and that'll drop the temperature of the entire globe, right? And cause crop failures and all kinds of stuff, right? So now all of a sudden you've got heat waves, major heat waves affecting, I mean, literally billions of people, right? Because I've got a friend, and I won't say his name. Use a letter J, living in Europe, and just experiencing a tremendous heat wave right now in Europe. And look at the United States, huge heat waves, wiping out crops, creating droughts, forest fires that we hear in Europe, forest fires we hear about in the United States. Don't hear about these things occurring in Russia, in China, Canada. I mean, it's if nobody questions this, I don't know why you don't. But again, if you look up, and they actually did sign a treaty in the 70s. The United States, actually, Congress ratified it. And so, therefore, we have a treaty that says we will not use weapons in order to change the climate. Use it as a weapon. We actually we signed that. Other countries signed that. Um, has nothing to do with the Paris Climate Accords. I really believe, well, in my opinion, the Paris Climate Accords are that's what they want to, that's what they love us to believe, like, hey, by the way, this is all man-made. Yeah, I think it was man-made, but I don't think it was by cows uh, pooping on the ground, right? Yeah, that's what they want us to believe. So don't raise cows, and cow manure is what's causing the temperature of the earth to rise. I mean, cows. Have you ever seen a skeleton of a dinosaur? um, yeah, they were a hell of a lot bigger, and I'm thinking their poop is a hell of a lot more. Just saying. I mean, some of the stuff you just got to wonder that, people tend to believe. And you're being fed the narrative, just like I am, just like my kids are, just like my family is, just like your family is. We're all being told the same narrative around the world. Got to save the world from climate change. Really? What caused it, and why are they so fearful of it? And again, what's the end game? What's the end game? They trying to wipe us all out because they made a mistake and mess with Mother Nature? Did they do that? Are they continuing to do it? Is China doing it? Is Russia doing it? Is the United States doing it? These are all facts that they all had working programs. They all did this. People call it conspiracy when you look at the HART program up in Alaska, run by the United States government. And we weren't the only ones doing it as a government. There were a multitude of governments doing this. So imagine blasting all this energy up into the atmosphere and trying to create a bend that would affect the jet stream, which would ultimately affect the weather. I mean, these people were just absolutely playing with fire, literally. And now they want us to believe that it's cows. So I don't know. Maybe we're the cows. That's something to think about. That's my message in the bottle. I hope you enjoy. Have a blessed day.